And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. It is Wednesday morning. That makes it hump day.
I know, halfway through the week.
I'm sorry I don't have a camel to walk behind us and do that little skit, but
That was the funniest commercial when that came out. And everybody was like, mocking it.
oh yeah,
Repeating everything.
just couldn't help but like something like
That's
that.
right.
Welcome. If you're a first-time viewer, we welcome you to the show. I'm Scotty Ray along with Candace. I've been in radio for like umpteen dozen years, so long that most folks think that, well, I'm just old. Okay, yes, yeah, that's what they think.
We're all getting older. I mean, let's just face the facts,
But we'd like to invite you to be a part of this as we talk about local things that go on in the Meridian area and all things across the nation that affect you, because what happens somewhere else is important to you. And we got a big Memorial Day weekend coming up. A lot of folks are looking forward to this. Maybe their first time out.
Isn't it nice to be able to gather with people again? Have your family. And I'm so glad we're, my son, with him leaving next week, we're supposed to have a little get together this weekend. So that'll be nice. It'll be bittersweet, but it'll be nice.
Headed off to represent the US of A.
That's right.
So did you get into anything yesterday?
No, I didn't. I just worked, and that was about it. I went home.
I'd like to say I finally got that shear pin out of my tractor that took 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
I have
Kurt
drilled.
got a text about it the other night. It said,
It was
take a
awful.
hammer to it.
Yeah, that didn't work. I took a hammer, I took a spike, I took a sledgehammer, I beat, I drilled, and soon to be, I'm going to own a torch, because that was the only thing. I had a little heating torch, but it wasn't strong enough, so I'm buying a torch.
So you did not get it out.
No, so I had to get somebody with a torch to come over and light it up, and finally got that booger out so I can bush hog again.
Goodness.
So
Yeah, it's that time of the year for sure. Bush hogging and cutting grass. And
next thing I'm seeing, and I didn't know this, and I'll have to look it up, but there's a Mississippi snake site on Facebook to where if you run up on a snake up in your yard, you can put it on there, and there's people that tell you what it is pretty quickly that know snakes. And
I don't know about y'all, but if you see any kind of snake in my yard, I mean, I consider it,
yeah,
bad.
it's dead.
Yeah.
But I can't hardly look at the page because I don't like them rascals.
I don't either. I was like scrolling through the other day on the internet, and they sell a comforter. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
That is covered in snakes. It looks like a bed of snakes. Tons of them. Just like, who would want that? Why would you want that? I would have nightmares.
It gives me the willies thinking about it, and I think
I'll have to find that picture and pull it up.
Ooh. We had a bit of sad news that we wanted to pass along this morning, and let me pull this up so everybody can see a picture here. This is Judge Gunn, who is passed away. He was 80 years young, I believe.
Yes.
And
a good man.
He sure
really
was. And we go to the Barham family funeral home, and the service is going to be when?
It's going to be tomorrow, Thursday, May 27th at 10 a.m. at Robert Barham Family Funeral Home.
Now, he served, 24, 25 years?
It was 24 years.
So
he was a judge in Lauderdale County for District 3. And, he leaves behind children and grandchildren and so many people who thought so much of him and loved him.
Yeah.
And so we want to, offer prayers up for this family. Because it is a major loss for them. So
it is, and keep them in your thoughts.
Yes.
As we said, we are headed up toward Memorial Day weekend. There will be a ceremony downtown Meridian at the Doughboy Monument on Monday at 10 o'clock. That's one of the things going on. This morning, we're going to draw for the Chad Prather tickets. That's coming up. We'll give those away. Got them all in the cup over here to the right.
It's going to be a good show, I think.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. But he's also, he's got a lot of good conservative views and stuff too. So
yeah, and we'll show you a picture of him here coming up in case you go, Chad Prather. I've heard the name. What I know the guy. It's the cowboy in the truck with the dog.
That's right. The cowboy in the truck with the dog. That's a good way to put it, Scotty, right?
He's always talking some smack up at his truck, and he does a real good job with it. Let's see here. As we begin, we want to bring this up also. I brought this up earlier this morning, but it's worth bringing back up again as we send out prayers in the community. This is coming from Clark County Hot Topics of the youngster that was injured in the ATV accident in Enterprise yesterday, and that's the overturned. He was the passenger in it.
Now that looks kind of like one of those Polaris things.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, it's a big one. And he was hurt and airlifted to the medical center in Jackson. I don't know the condition, and names have not officially been released. But for our friends there in the Enterprise area, we send out prayers for y'all. Y'all keep that youngster.
Oh, yes.
It just says juvenile.
Yeah, I don't guess we know what age or anything.
I'm guessing somewhere between 12 to 16 in that time frame. What I've heard.
Yes, these things can be very dangerous. So.
It is. Let me see here. A few other things that are going on this morning.
We do want to remind everybody the food drive is not going to be today. They've ended it. So, I mean,
it's over.
Right.
Don't be showing up.
Anybody showing up at the Ag Center.
You just be looking at some horses staring at yourself.
Right.
This is what bothers me across America is this cancel culture that has happened. As you were to land in California, there was an airport named the John Wayne International Airport. It was given to the man because, well, he was great. He really was. And they got all mad because he said something in an interview years before. But today is John Wayne's birthday. And one of my all-time favorites. Did you ever watch that movie, the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh!
But I've seen plenty of westerns and stuff with him. Don't ask me to call the name, but I've watched them throughout the years.
Worried about you. But John Wayne, just an American icon.
Yeah, he is. He's a legend for sure. Yeah.
But Liberty Valance, if you ever get a chance, had Jimmy Stewart in it, who was also in tons of other movies. And Jimmy, the whole thing to it was, and the good guy that he was a lawyer, he was not a gunfighter, and this big bad guy picks on him, and he's challenged to a gunfight. Well, John Wayne hides in the shadows and shoots the bad guy when he draws, and it makes his look as the good guy shot him, and he never did. And at the end of the movie, that's how it's revealed he saved his life. And there are good people out there, and that's what that was about. And another legend has a birthday today.
Hank Williams Jr.
Boy, Bo Cephas is celebrating, what is that, 50, 70, 71, somewhere around in there?
I'm not sure how old that would make him.
You do
the math in my head.
You do 50 to 2000 is 50, 71, 72?
I guess so.
Wow. And, sad news last year about this time, somewhere along in here, Hank Jr. lost his daughter in that wreck, if y'all remember that. Pulling the boat, and they lost control, and it flipped.
It's awful.
Sad.
He's had a lot of stuff happen to him throughout his life, though. I mean, he lived a rough life, and then he fell off the mountain, or fell down the mountain, and
500
scarred
feet.
him. Is that why he wears the glasses?
He has no eye.
Okay.
It's a glass eye.
Yeah. I thought I remembered that.
I don't know if you've ever seen that interview. It was an 11-year-old boy that stayed with him, and his daddy went to get help, and he had to talk to Hank Jr. to keep him conscious while they were gone. That had to have been, he almost didn't make it out of that one. I always had trouble, because, there's certain songs in life that you shouldn't touch. And Elvis is one of those guys where I don't know where you should ever record. It turned out to be a big hit, but I still go back to, I like Elvis's version better.
Yeah.
Willie had a #1 song in '82 with Always on My Mind. But I can't shake it in my head. Even when I hear Willie sing it, I hear Elvis still singing it.
Yeah, I like the Elvis version too. And I like Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
I like his music, but I do like the Elvis version better.
No, the Red-Headed Stranger. And, at some point he cut those remember the braids he used to have? He finally cut them off. I don't know what year it was. And also it was on this date that Elvis rolled over in his grave back in 1994. Why did I say that? Well, here you go.
Yeah, that was the most, the oddest couple I've ever encountered, I guess.
From interviews that I've understood, nothing ever happened between those two.
I don't know. I just thought
that's what I read.
I don't know if that was something that for just publicity type stuff, or
I think so.
I don't know exactly.
That was peculiar.
But he was Michael Jackson. Wasn't he wanting the rights to some of Elvis's music?
That's possible. He bought a lot.
Yeah.
And then I don't know even who owns Michael Jackson's now. It's unreal. The man had all of that money and lost it. Oh, and some more events and things that went on today. This is kind of interesting. The last T model, and if you've ever watched that, The Men Who Built America, the 15 million of them stopped. It was made on this date back in 27. Do you remember this guy, Jack Kevorkian?
Yes, I do. He was the one that was going around and
the Angel of Death.
Yes.
I don't know whatever become of him. He still may be out there, or maybe he's passed away. But
I don't know. I just thought that was.
Did you agree with that?
No, it was almost like
in one way.
Almost like he got, he did it with.
pleasure? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of odd when you watched him talk about it. I mean, I can understand people
that are in pain and
they're in severe pain, they're chronic illness, or like, maybe an illness that you can't cure. And, I don't know, though.
And I've heard the argument so many times. I know y'all have heard this too, that, we put animals down when they're in too much pain. So why don't, but that's a touchy subject, but he got in all kinds of trouble over that.
Yeah.
And then also having a birthday today was this guy, Lenny Kravitz, and he was Helen's son off of the Jeffersons.
I did not know that.
That's who he is.
I didn't know that, but I used to listen to a lot of his music. I mean, I did. He had some good music.
Yeah, I've never heard any of his stuff.
I know he was married to Lisa Bonet, which was the older sister on the Cosby Show.
I knew I'd heard that name.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Albert passed away on this date back in 2005. And if you remember him from Switch, and he used to be,
Acres.
Yeah, Green Acres is a place to be.
Yes.
He passed away on this date back in 2005. We got some good mornings to give out. There's a few folks watching, and we appreciate it. And we'd love to hear from where you're watching from today.
Good morning to Miss Donna Roseman. She's watching, and Terry Carter says good morning.
Let's see here. Donna Peoples is up. Good morning. From the suburbs of Sebastopol, Aaron Hillman is watching today. Thank you. Along Miss Joyce Godwin from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
And Charlotte Gray, she's watching from Philadelphia. And Miss Linda Jane Lunsford, she says, happy hump day.
She's trying to get Giles Incorporated out there to get a post office, I think. All the way from Seattle, Washington, we welcome Jeremiah Johnson watching this morning. Also from Quitman, Mississippi. Salute to y'all down there. Population, I'm not sure how many. I'll check into that. Also, good morning. That's Kim Balking.
Yes. Shelly Eldridge, she's watching from Starkville, where my daughter lives. And Pat Banks says good morning from Macon, Mississippi.
Let's see. Daphne Childs is watching this morning. Good morning to all from Mooney Springs. We welcome Jimmy Robinson watching this morning.
Milton Sable says good morning from Sandtown. And Clay Banks he says he hopes those kids are okay. So
we do
too. We do.
Let's see here. Sarah Neese is watching, and Karen Hurd is up and watching us as well. How you doing, girl?
62. I don't know if that's an age we were looking for on one of the
May have
people.
been.
So, yeah. Elmer Talbert says good morning. He's watching us this morning. So.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, and we appreciate y'all joining in. And, of course, always tell us where you're watching from. We'd like to know that. And, again, if you're watching this on television, you're going, what are they talking about?
Right.
Well, you can interact with us online on Facebook at Scotty Ray's Weather, or you can find us on YouTube and also interact that way. Pretty neat little thing to do.
It's great. I mean, I think it's a great thing. You can ask questions. You can just make comments. If you want us to talk about a specific subject or something, just pop it up there.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Shuttown's done jumped in here. Debbie Penny, good morning to you. Glad to have you.
Miss Ann Downs McKee says good morning, and Michelle Lewis, good morning.
But yesterday I meant to talk about this, and we've got bad weather today that's going to be out in Kansas area, and it's jumped up to a level 4. And we've had that weather here before. And the reason I bring this up is be prepared when bad weather breaks back out. And that's where we invite our friends at the Precast Group. If you've always thought about having a tornado shelter, these are the folks that make them right here in the Meridian area. And of course, that's a different town there. But this is what these units look like. Solid concrete. It's not going anywhere. Solid steel doors. They've all been tested. This thing weighs 20,000 pounds and is not going to be lifted up. It's bolted down and secured. This is how they deliver it and install it at your home. If you're building a home, they can put it in a closet. You can build around it. Do it that way. Now, if you've already got your home built, they can set it right outside and it'll look like this. This is the above ground model. Pretty good looking. 482-0003 is the number to call. Now, that's one that's set up behind a business. As you look at one that's put in the ground, this is them lowering it in. You can do it all the way in a bank. You can put it right outside your door. However you want to adjust it in your home, they can do that. Now, this is one that's just above the ground there that has a little slant, and you can put adjust it to the seats and how you want to put it inside. Your mom has one.
Yeah, they do. They have one, and we've gotten down in it plenty of times. And it's very convenient because it's right outside the house, like you said.
Talk to the Precast Group. I almost said that wrong. Precast Group here in Meridian. 601-482-0003. See how affordable it is to feel safe from here on. Talk to them today. They'll certainly help you out.
I was injured on my job, and I applied for Social Security, but I got denied.
I thought that money belonged to me if I got hurt on the job. I just want to know how to get my money.
I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. Let me go to work for you and get the money you deserve.
Richard Schwartz could do all that red tape, and now I'm approved and getting my benefits.
Call me, Richard Schwartz, and get the answers you need and the compensation you deserve. We know the law and we know how to help you.
You know, as we look at things that happen across America, yesterday we brought this up, was the anniversary of when George Floyd lost his life, and no one in America wanted that to happen by any means. But as we look at the turmoil of people, and I think there's people that just that look for things to tear up things over. Last night, and I mentioned this earlier this morning, Portland went in flames again last night. How many times, because you know all this PPE money, whatever it was, went to rebuild that town?
Yeah, I don't see how they have anything left. I mean, they constantly are burning. They haven't had time to build back, you know,
I mean,
before they do it again.
The store owners right here, you think of a guy that gets up every day, he pays his insurance, is probably outrageous now. I bet the insurance, and then they bust out windows, they tear up their product. How do you ever recover from this? Is this going to be a yearly thing there or a nightly thing?
I don't know. I would hate to be a resident there having to deal with all that, or a business owner. That would be just heartbreaking. I mean, you don't want to have to up and move away from somewhere where you've built a life and built a home and a business and stuff.
And then how are you going to sell that? Go, hey, come by my place because they burned it down. I don't want to stay.
I don't know how much authority, you know, they are, like, you know, the police and stuff. Are they defunding police there still? I mean, why would you do that now with all this going on?
Makes no sense.
It just leads to more chaos, you know, so I don't know.
And the big question is, how do you stop it? How do you make, and I guess you would have to have community leaders really take a stand and step up and go, hey, you can't do this anymore.
Right.
And I just I don't see an end in sight for it the way that America is headed right now. I mean, am I right or wrong?
I think it's going to take something major to get, I mean, because it's so far gone the other direction. I mean, they're going to have something major to really get people's attention. You know, like, we're not taking it anymore. And, you know, you hate to think about the citizens taking matters into their own hands. But, I mean, if somebody doesn't do something about it, they're going to get sick of it. You know, and it's going to happen.
Well, you take somebody that's all they have, every penny that they've invested, that's how they make their living. You're going to protect your stuff. You know, I posted this also this morning, and y'all look up for this. You said you had a dream about this.
This is the weirdest thing. I have not even heard about the moon situation. And I had a dream night before last about this moon, and it looks so much just like this. I walked outside and saw it in my dream and took a picture of it, got my son to come look, and that's crazy.
But it'll be up tonight, the blood moon. I don't know what it is with you and these dreams.
I don't know either. I'm kind of getting...
And I don't want you to dream about me.
If I don't dream anything bad about anybody, I'm going to call you the next morning and go, do not leave the house today.
Have you ever, this really, and I don't know whether it's premonitions or if it's where people have a connection in a dream, but you've heard of people dreaming somebody passed away and then they kick the bucket. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, but I mean, I dreamed about somebody who had passed away, actually. And in my dream the other night, he's like, I said, I thought she passed away. And he's like, I am not. Who told you that?
Okay, you scare me. Don't be giving me no vibes over here.
But yeah, I've heard of that. That's scary.
Some people just have that little connection there. And I remember as a kid, my sister telling me that she got up one morning and told us that our uncle passed away. And we got a call like 30 minutes later. And I was like, woo.
Oh, yeah. But that's happened to me. I've dreamed about, or I've not really dreamed, but it just in my mind thought about like an actor or something. Yeah. And I'm like, I had that kind of feeling like, well, they're getting old or something like. And next thing I know, they passed away. Scary.
Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson was commenting of how people really have to stick together to where some of these city councils and mayors in a large portion, and I think everybody thinks this, that people are bought off from time to time in government.
Sometimes money talks a lot more than what we know. Oh, yeah. And it's a sad situation because, I mean, the citizens are the ones that suffer. Yeah. You know, in these things. Let's see, Grace Talbert Alexander, she said, good morning from Meridian, Mississippi. She and her husband are watching us. Thank you for watching.
We appreciate that.
And Charles Coker, Nacogdoches, Louisiana, home of the Steel Magnolia.
I have been there before.
That's where he's watching from.
Beautiful town. Yeah, we appreciate Louisiana joining in this morning.
Yes.
Here's one for the good guys. This I really, if y'all remember this bothered me, and I want to say it happened in Louisiana also, but California is the first one that has been to court. The church fought them. Newsom, and of course his reelection, he's being called back. Here's the headline this morning on this, coming in from Fox News. He is ordered to pay this church $1.35 million in a settlement to where he blocked them, said they weren't essential, but he let strip clubs go do their thing.
He had a number of things. Like, is he not the one who kept the kids out of school but was sending his to the private school?
That'd be him.
And then also nobody could go out and eat, but he was found out eating with all his friends.
That'd be him too.
Yeah. They're sick of him. We're just gonna put it like that.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to be removed.
But I think there's a lot of people that agree with us, and maybe you don't. If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think churches were really singled out in some of these states that is the word, don't have the same beliefs that we do.
They must
the Christianity.
not. Yeah, they must not. I mean, because
to where they're trying to lead it
should definitely be an essential place for people to be able to go.
And this is even scarier. After this pandemic, did they win? As you look at surveys, for the first time in American history, less than half of the population of America now attends church. It's like 48% now attend church, where it's always been 55 to 60% of Americans go to church. It has fell below the halfway mark now. Now, does that have to do with we're letting other people in from other countries that aren't, I don't know. Yeah. But the direction of America is changing. I don't believe in that. Me and Candace are God-fearing folks like most everybody that watches. There's maybe a few that don't believe in that, but we welcome you to our side.
Yeah, I really hope that changes. I hope that percentage goes way up in the near future because, I mean, I'm sorry, but God needs to be at the center of everything. Ooh. That's just my belief, and I'm sure it's a lot of other people's beliefs. But when you take God out of school and out of everything,
did you ever really?
A lot of people have tried to take it out of everything. When you take God out, I mean, that's denying Him, and I mean, you can't. Things are not going to go smoothly. I'm just going to say it. But way.
Did you ever think you in your lifetime would see it to where they would haul the 10 Commandments off from a courthouse square? Really?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever see that. And it's a sad day when
it is. And we see more of this. And people take advantage of situations when we're in lockdown to push their thoughts on you. And I think a lot of that, California was right up there with pushing the limits on things. Mm-hmm. So that's in the news this morning. Now, we move to this next one. I'm not huge on reality shows. Every night, Angie used to watch a little bit of this. I've walked through and stood there for 3 to 5 minutes before I got sick of it and had to run off.
Yeah. There's Real Housewives shows for like Orange County, Atlanta,
now, it started
New Jersey.
With California, right? The Orange County. Didn't that the one that started it all?
Orange County. And then there's a New York one, New Jersey, like I said. And then they've got this one of Salt Lake City.
And she done gone to jail or is getting ready to go to jail. She faces 30 years in it. Mm-hmm. Now, on the TV show, and this is the girl here. I've never seen her. Now, I have not watched the show, but this is her. Apparently, she gave off the air that she owned this place. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out they were just renting it. They're getting evicted from the house. They're selling the house. And she was doing an online scam. And it said it cost them $50,000 a month to live the lifestyle that they did. Most of us live off of that for a year. Right. But what she was doing was promising people that their online sales could go up with her scheme. Mm-hmm. And it was all a farce. Is that a word? I think it is.
Yeah. And she was also, the way it first started out, or she first entered the spotlight with all some negative stuff, was she was ugly to a lot of people. I think she was hateful acting to them, and we're telling them what to do. And there was some video of her just really throwing a fit at a board meeting of some sort and getting up and leaving. And she had a lot of demands. And then, of course, I guess they looked further into it and they found all this mess out.
Yeah, they own her trail. That's for sure. Yeah. Let's see, we want to welcome Linda Miles watching this morning from Lauderdale County somewhere. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, Charles Cooker said, happy birthday to Roseanne Cash, who is 65. Lord, Roseanne. Tennessee Flat Top Box, if y'all remember that. Big John's daughter there. Mm-hmm. Who didn't watch I Dream of Jeannie? I still remember the episode of Andy Griffith where she got off the bus, and I'm talking, what was her name?
She was a
Yeah.
Is that the one where
Yeah.
she's a manicurist?
And she was like, I'm not gonna just say it. She was hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's a
she
pretty
was a
lady. She
beautiful
really
woman.
was.
I dream of Jeannie. The bottle is up for sale if you want it, that she would pop out of. I'm not sure she could actually.
I don't
fit
know
in
that
there.
I would give $50,000 for the bottle.
But here it is. That's $50,000. They're going to auction that off, and that's what they're expecting it to go for.
We had a bottle of some kind that looked so much like that when I was younger. It was like at my grandmother's house, I think. And I can remember being a little girl and looking in that bottle all the time, thinking
She's going to pop out.
Seeing if I could see her down in the bottle. Yeah,
Oh, have mercy.
but I used to watch that all the time.
It was a good show. What was it? Major Nelson that was her love interest in the show.
Oh yeah.
And that's, shows are so different now.
I miss the old stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I miss the old stuff. And the good thing is on MeTV, you
Correct.
can catch all of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sandy Cruz, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. You jumping in there. I mentioned this. Think about this now. Occasionally, I'll spend a buck or two. In the last 10 years, I hadn't probably spent more than $25 on lottery tickets. But it's always a dream. You sit with somebody and go, well, what if I won the lottery? What would I do with the money?
Right.
What happens after you buy it and then you lose the ticket? Can you
I would be
imagine that gut
sick.
feeling?
Yeah, I'd be sick to my stomach.
Well,
Oh,
it ended
gosh,
up,
that'd be awful.
Candace, at the end of this, it was a good ending regardless. Think of losing that ticket. Here's the headline. She accidentally threw it in the garbage can after she bought it, and the people where she bought the ticket dug in the garbage later and found it and returned it to her, instead of giving it to one of their buddies and
Right.
letting them claim the money.
Didn't we talked the other day about one that washed it?
Yeah. Gone.
Somebody washed their lottery ticket. It was like a huge winning lottery ticket, and she had washed it.
This lady here wins $1 million, though, thanks to a Good Samaritan. And you would have to, I would think, give somebody a little something for that.
Right. Yes.
$1 million. And of course, I guess the government would get 300,000 or 400,000 of that, but still $1 million.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Have you
nice
ever
chunk of change.
wanted to say you're a millionaire just to put after your last name?
I just think that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get to say
Yeah,
that,
me
but it
either.
is nice to dream.
Yeah, it is. I love stories like this where, people just, just everyday
Hard-working
people,
folks.
people who work every day, get up and go to work. I'd probably still get up and go to work though.
Oh, I'm
I'm
definitely.
not saying I wouldn't take some time off. Go on a little vacation.
But with what we're doing here, I truly enjoy doing the weather and all this stuff each and every day. So, I wouldn't disappear. I'd still haunt you every day up here. We wanted to bring up what's going to be going on as we head toward Memorial Day across the state of Mississippi. Alabama is going to be doing this too, but be prepared. There's going to be a lot of highway patrolmen on duty. They'll be working a little bit extra there.
Yeah, it's an operation called Line to Line.
Yeah, they're going to focus on I-55 there across several states there. But trust me, every county is going to have the highway patrol buzzing the highways there. So be careful. Don't drink and drive. And this is also the week for...
Click it or ticket. It started out. Is that what you were going to say? Yeah, it started, I think, Monday.
Yeah.
So, have your seatbelt on. If you don't have one of those vehicles that has a, signal like it dings until you put your seatbelt on,
I often get a
Remember.
giggle out of watching TV in some of the older shows in the early 70s where nobody had seatbelts on because, well, they wasn't required.
Oh, I remember being a little girl laying across the back seat,
And the glass in the back, you remember that?
Oh,
In the
yeah.
back window of the car?
Which I probably shouldn't say this, but I used to sit in my granddaddy's, on his leg and drive.
Yeah, everybody's done
He
that.
let us drive. I mean, my goodness, But anyway.
And that's how you really learn to drive in pastures and things of
Oh,
that
yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for grandpas, where would the world be?
I know it. The good old days.
We sometimes get upset with our politicians here in the United States. But in Mexico, it always seems that, they take things to a different level there. They get mad at somebody in Mexico, they go after
Oh,
them.
yeah. This is to the extreme.
Mayor candidate there was ambushed. And, they took things in their own hands since he didn't take care of providing roads and the water to the rural residents. And, they put a noose around his neck.
Yeah, they meant business.
Yeah.
Over there. They don't play around in Mexico, y'all.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
You often hear, and always be careful in your travels. Where was that earlier in the summer back, or was it in the winter that we done the story on the couple that was mistaken for somebody else and they killed
Oh,
them?
yeah. Which this is to the extreme. Like I don't recommend like at all something like this happening. That's awful though, really. I mean, we kind of
Joked about it.
But can you imagine being the man that's happening to? That was probably terrifying to him.
In other headlines, if y'all remember, Trump brought this up and said, hey, I really think all this started in Wuhan, and he called it the China virus.
Right.
Well, they're starting to back up now, and they just kept calling him a lie. And they're starting to back up and go, well, maybe there's a little truth to it.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch these stories. Is there going to be an investigation into it? Maybe. But it's sure looking like. And then Fauci. Have you seen all that of the money he gave?
Well, you know, I've been saying it. I read this in the very, very beginning of this virus starting. I read this. I don't know why it's just now coming out as like being a surprise to everybody.
Donald's not in office is why it's coming out now.
Yeah. And so, yeah, this was going on in the United States. The virus was being experimented, with.
He gave
stuff
$600,000 to him there in the Wuhan lab to do the research there, if it could be transferred from humans to
wasn't it like in 2017 or something?
like
it was
that.
back several years back. So they moved it. I think they shut it down here in the United States because it was too much of a risk. So they moved it to Wuhan. Well, then he funded that with American dollars, funded it to keep it going over there. And they're thinking that that's probably where it originated, obviously.
Correct.
So, I mean, if that was anybody else, they would say, you know what?
Yeah.
You had a hand in this. And so I think you have something to do with this getting out.
Republicans are now calling for him to be fired.
Yeah.
It's very doubtful that will happen. I do not see it.
Well, he's just flip-flopped so many times on and it's kind of like, it's kind of like he's just for fame now. You know what I'm saying?
He loves the spotlight.
Yeah, he likes the spotlight. So I just think it's a sad day when everybody else is paying the price for something that was known
in the
many
beginning.
years ago. It should have been shut down regardless, and this probably wouldn't have happened.
And we say this very often. When you see these headlines and things that go on across America and other countries, don't believe everything you read. Let's go back and remember Russia.
Well,
5 years, nothing was ever proved of that.
We need to pull up, we can't do it right now, I'm sure, but we need to pull up the video of Fauci saying, before Trump went into office, he said this administration, or maybe it was right after, this administration is going to suffer a pandemic. He knew it.
I didn't know that.
That would put up a big red flag to me when he said this way before the virus actually was started or got out or become a pandemic. He said this administration will suffer a pandemic,
and we did.
We did. So I don't know. I think there's a lot more to this story.
And then you remember the story of Biden's son that never saw sunlight and was true, as you find out now.
Yeah.
Every bit of that was. The computer existed. There was lots of things on there that showed the truth. And the media just, like you take CNN all these years, who used to be, when it first came on, you really trusted them.
Right.
It's not so much now. People just don't trust the news the way they used to. And we try to give you a different angle of what we see and tell you our thoughts on it. You may not agree with everything we say, and that's okay.
But, when I mentioned that about the Fauci thing, I've read this. I've read the documentation. I've seen the video of him saying that about the pandemic. So it's not like I'm just randomly
pulling that out of thin air.
There is facts that back this stuff up. So.
This happened in Washington, D.C. this week. This is how people lose their temper and just, I don't get it. But here's the headline here as you look at this. A guy that was driving a Maserati jumps out at a red light and pulls a gun on the car. Here's the car that he's mad at. And he shoots out. I know that's blurry, but he shoots into the car just for no reason. And then just shoots in traffic because he's upset. And they've got a warrant out for his arrest. Not that any. Yeah, if you're watching from Washington and you see him and you recognize him in his Maserati, they'd like to talk to him.
Yeah.
So, and he hauled tail after that and got out of there.
That's just scary. You don't ever know what kind of psychopaths are on the road.
I know. And like the little boy that lost his life that we talked about yesterday because of road rage. Ridiculous. Let's see here. FBI is looking for someone. Imagine that. and the customs border is. They what they done was they put they had a helicopter. This is a copter there, and a drone flew in front of it. And they're after the drone flyer there and the path of it, the Customs Border Protection. Probably had something to do with drugs.
Well, yeah, they don't exactly know why it was there, but it was like at 9:30 at night, I think, or late in the evening. It was at 14,000 feet, which
Holy
they say
cow.
was like really, really high for a drone to fly.
That is.
It was erratically moving around, and it kept circling the helicopter, they said.
So that was done on purpose.
Right, but they said that it is a high, like it's technologically far ahead of anything we have, too. So it kind of is odd. When you get to talking about, I mean, I don't know that this would have anything to do with the UFO thing, or unidentified flying. But they did say that the technology was nothing in comparison as to what we have. They've been spotted around like a lot of military bases.
Right.
And also they said that, they don't recommend drones flying above 400 feet.
And that was at 14,000?
14,000.
I'm gonna use a word here. Cartel.
Yeah.
Their technology is... But
who knows?
And the UFO thing, more and more keeps slipping out about that. And again, a UFO, what it stands for is unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's from another country.
Right.
I want to point that out.
Yeah, and I say that UFO thing. They said that they described it as being like a what do you call them, turbine type thing?
Yeah, with the four propellers
the four
on
things around it, but with a green light on the bottom of it. Is what they explained it is to looking like. But, anybody, if you're wanting to fly drones, just remember they say they do not recommend them being flown around like crash sites or any kind of a site where medical people are, there. Don't fly them around military facilities, obviously.
And I think airports have a signal that blocks them to where remote control wouldn't operate them, I think.
I don't know. But also around like large crowds of people, they could crash down, hurt somebody. You don't ever know, but just be aware of that.
I might talk to Dylan Ray. He kind of specializes in drones and things of that nature. He knows so much more. He had one here at the house that he hit a button and it flew from our house to our neighbor's house and leveled at their window and sat outside of it and then flew back on its own and set back down. Cool.
I bought my son one years ago. It wasn't a high dollar one, but it got caught first off in the power line. So I was a nervous wreck because somebody was up there on a metal ladder trying to get the thing down from the power line. I was like, please just leave it there. Just leave it alone.
Okay, Angie bought me one, and we were playing with it. She spent $300 on it. I feel bad about this. And the battery went dead.
Oh, gosh.
That was the end of it.
Well, one of my customers spent like a lot of money on one for her husband, and that got stuck way up in the top of like this huge pine tree.
Oh, my gosh.
And they couldn't get it down.
So
I don't know if it's still there or not.
That would make you sick.
But I was like, I'd be calling somebody to get it down.
The drone thing, if you've never played with one, the video footage that you can get is so beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of people do put those like what do they call them? Pro Go thing, or what do you call them? GoPro. I'm sorry. GoPro cams on them and, video. I think that would be neat.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of the Windsor ruins. Somebody that took a drone down there and went above, the columns. Beautiful. I enjoyed watching that. Good morning to Jimmy Fleming tuning in. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate that. Barbara Vick is out there.
Tony Keller, she's watching from Orlando, Florida.
Woo, that's a big city. I missed an airplane flight in Orlando one time. It was not great.
Yeah.
Had to sit there.
Milton Sable says that the seat belts, that the 60 models did not have seat belts. So I wonder what you do with old cars
You have to
get them installed. Okay. I was wondering about that.
Because I put them in my old truck out there.
Okay.
It didn't have them.
All right.
I remember a kid bouncing up down on the seat. There was no such thing as that.
Yes.
Let's take a minute and talk about our friend Tiffany. She's got a lot going on there.
It's the Tiffany Blue Decor Boutique. She's located inside the atrium in North Hills.
And that's
Meridian,
what the building looks like.
On Highway 493. Also, she's located in Quitman at the Rustic Couture, Archisa Avenue. Yeah. But she has an array of different modern and rustic style furniture and all kind of decor.
Right. You can get you some benches if you're looking for that, tables. And, of course, all this cover up yourself swimsuit stuff. Cute
swimsuit cover-ups. Used to, you just throw a T-shirt on. Well, that time's passed for some people. They get a little more, elegant looking swimsuit cover-ups, all kind of cute ones, and which would be a good gift right now for a senior if they're going on a senior trip.
If you're needing a top.
That's right. Everybody's going on vacation down to the beach. Cute tops, dresses. She even has earrings. But these paintings that she has in there, they're beautiful paintings. She's got some super large paintings, and some of them are originals that she's done herself.
Correct.
So you need to go check that out.
See her today, and of course, there's just a little bit of everything for everybody to choose from there. If you're looking to decorate something there, my cooking is awesome. You can hang one of them in your house there. Just a different look there for what she has to offer. Some pillows.
That's
If
cute.
you need something to decorate, and this is Tiffany, drop in and see her. They'll be open today through 5:30 and through Saturday, closed on Sundays, but check them all out. That's Tiffany Blue. She'd love to see you.
Seasonal changes can have a big effect on your energy use. When outside temperatures soar either up or down, your heating and cooling system works overtime to maintain a comfortable temperature inside your home, regardless of whether you ever touch your thermostat settings. But there are easy, inexpensive ways you can stay in control of your energy use. Visit EMEPA.com for energy-saving tips today. East Mississippi Electric Power Association is your local Touchstone Energy cooperative.
I was injured on my job and I applied for Social Security, but I got denied.
I thought that money belonged to me if I got hurt on the job.
I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. Let me go to work for you and get the money you deserve.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. And again, we welcome everybody for watching us. We do appreciate it.
We do, and we've got some good comments this morning. Feedback on some of the stories that we've been covering, and we do welcome everybody. It's a good thing to have a lot of watchers.
Yeah, coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to be doing the drawing to go see the Chad Prather concert. We've got our cup over here with all of our names that everybody commented over the last 2 days, and then we'll flip here in the notebook and match it and let you know who won. So that's on the way. This is what is the word I'm looking for as you look at this sign here of this headline of when somebody refuses to admit the truth.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just
And her name is Jan. Is that her first name?
Jen
Jen.
Psaki, I think is how you pronounce. The P is silent. So.
I never would have known that in a million years. Nobody I went to high school was named that. Not making fun of her. It's just I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. Kind of like psychology starts with a P.
Okay. But she says that the U.S. has a crime problem and blames the gun. She's saying we don't have a crime problem. We do.
Yeah. There is a major crime problem in this country. And, we see it in Portland. I mean, violence, in the streets.
Yep.
Some of it has to do with guns. Some of it doesn't. I mean, they throwing bricks through windshields. They're burning businesses. But crime, people, are getting shot. I mean, there's stuff going on with guns, but I don't blame guns as being the thing. Now, they're wanting everybody's guns to be, they're wanting to pass all these things about guns,
right.
People owning guns and stuff. So, it's real convenient to blame it on that, right now. But
I was looking for another news story that is out there to where it was another city to where, and I've got it somewhere, and I can't put my fingers on it, but it was where they jumped on top of a police car, about 20 people. And they set the car on fire and start kicking the windshield out with the cop in it. You cannot let that happen.
People have no regard for human life in this. They just don't. They don't. They'll throw bricks through windows of cars that have children sitting in the back seat. They don't care. It's just people who just want to be chaotic.
It is. Did we mention and say good morning to John and them?
I don't think so.
Well, good morning to John and Wayne Haney down in Quitman, Washington this morning. Thank you. We appreciate that. We've heard through the years, when it comes to priests, there are bad things that happen. As we look at one of these that was getting ready to go to jail, this is the headline, and maybe it's ironic, I don't know. But he died just before they were getting ready to lock him up for a 1972 situation that he done there to a 13-year-old boy. And that's a picture of the guy that was the kid that he done that to, but died just hours before he was to go off to serve his time. And there's probably countless cases that will never come to light that has happened to. There's predators everywhere.
And, unfortunately, there are good priests.
Yes, it is.
There obviously are good priests out there, but, it does cast a darkness over the rest of them when people like this do things like that. So,
Let me ask this: as a kid, and probably not as an adult, because I don't see you going too far away from your husband any given time. Were you ever lost as a kid playing in the woods? Maybe.
No, I mean, we didn't go too far back in the woods. There was some woods right across from our home, that we played in. They had like the vines and all that stuff. We'd swing or, just play around. But I never really got lost.
Jane.
Now, I'd got lost in a department store when I was little. I can remember that.
Oh, well, it's kind of the same thing.
It's a scary feeling.
I got lost as a young teenager deer hunting a couple times. That's happened. But this happened to a 69-year-old guy. And sometimes they're not found because, well, the wilderness is bad out there. But a 69-year-old man stayed 17 nights alone in Oregon, and they finally found him. That's probably a miracle, making it 17 days. Yeah. Went on a camping trip, got lost, and it took them that long to find him.
That is scary. That's got to be scary at night.
Oh, you hear some.
I would be.
You hear some critters you ain't never heard of when you're by yourself.
When they finally found me, I'd be a nervous wreck. I don't know that I'd make it through 17 nights. I don't know that I'd make it through one.
And
I
then,
hate the dark.
Of course, it's a good thing that he had his fishing equipment to where he could eat.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do when you're out there.
Go into survival mode.
The young lady, and I'm not sure, we weren't on TV when we first gave this story out, but we did this a few weeks back, to where it was a podcaster, and I think it was New York, to where she was bragging how she disliked cops, hated them, and then that night she's drinking and driving and kills a cop that is directing traffic at a wreck. She was in court yesterday, and now she's whining and not wanting to, why did this happen to me? But if you watch the video of what she said that day.
Yeah, I know.
It was just pure
And then to
hate.
go out right after that and this happened, to run over a cop.
It was awful. And this is the gentleman that lost his life.
I mean, he had a family.
Sure did.
This is people, and she deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent. I don't care who she is or how much she whines.
It was pure hate, was it not?
Right. I mean, and she was she was intoxicated too, under the influence of alcohol.
Oh, it was
possibly
high.
Something else. I don't know, but she shouldn't be excused for that at all.
Jeremiah Johnson commented on that about being in the wilderness up there where the mountains are tough. It is tough up there.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think like mountain lions and just nature.
And I'm not in the shape that I was years ago, to where if you're in the mountains, all those hills you got to climb, boy, that'll wear you out. It's like climbing, what is it, Clingman's Dome? If you go up to the Smoky Mountains, have you ever done that?
No, I've not climbed. I'm not a mountain climber. I'm not even on.
But do you know what the Clingman's Dome is?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's this tower that sits out on a ledge, and it has a walkway that goes out, and it's hundreds of feet in the air, and it's just like you get wore out walking to it. But when
you walk to it,
I was a kid. I'll never do it again.
I was fixing to say, as bad as you hate heights, I can't imagine you going.
Oh, it was horrible. My mama made me do it. Never again.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose to do that.
This broke headlines yesterday. Has everybody seen this of the lady at the zoo?
No, I have not seen it.
She climbs the fence. This is in El Paso at the zoo. She climbs the fence and goes and sits with the monkeys while they're out there. Since this has happened, she has lost her job, and the zoo is most likely going to press charges against her.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I can't tell you the people that have lost their lives jumping in there with lions.
Oh, well, monkeys, I mean.
They can get you.
Those things, like chimpanzees. I mean, they can be brutal to a human being. I mean, they can. But I just don't understand. People, it's like common sense just flies right out the window.
And maybe
people.
You've seen this, like what is it? Cage Cove, to where a buck will be on the side of the road and people jump out with a camera and they want to get within 2 feet of it. Have you seen the picture of the guy that gets horned by one?
No, but I mean, I've seen deer. I've seen videos of deer doing that. Like, if you are hunting and you kill a deer, you better make sure before you walk up on it that,
it'll horn you.
Because some of them are not dead.
It's protection.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Biden, this is a headline that's coming out this morning. Biden could put federal employees at home permanently.
It's ridiculous.
As people are trying to get past, they can't get stuff anymore.
Well, I saw where the records department is having a hard time, like for veterans, veterans can't be seen because the people who operate the records departments to pull their records for medical records and stuff, or the veterans can't be seen on a timely manner for medical care or anything.
Wow.
You know, it's ridiculous that everybody's not back to work.
Put them back to work.
I don't understand it. And the answer is not send everybody home. I
No.
mean, because you slow things down. They were even talking about like passport departments. People are waiting 3 months or more for passports. And just the other day, a friend of mine, she and her family were going to, overseas somewhere. I mean, to one of these islands. And they were supposed to be, they all had their passports. Well, one of the people going with them
Did not.
applied for the passport months ago, but could never get an appointment. So they drove to Louisiana where the main passport office was, and they turned them away. Said, we can't give it to you today. You have to make an appointment. Well, she'd been trying to make an appointment. Nobody would call her back.
So what do you do in this situation? You just can't go on your trip?
He just couldn't go. I mean, he just couldn't go, which is awful. I mean, because it's for months and months they tried to get it. So if you are going on a trip and you do not have a passport, you might want to think about, like, if it's even far in the future, you better go ahead and get it now, because it's not something you're going to do within a week or two or anything like that.
And I have never had a passport because
I haven't either.
I ain't never been nowhere.
Well, I don't intend on going.
I kind of like it here.
Yeah, I'm not going overseas. That kind of just makes me nervous.
Let's talk about our friends at Masterflow Plumbing. And what they do is plumbing, and they do any type of plumbing work for you that you need. Now, if you've they serve the areas from Hattiesburg all the way down to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. This is a tunnel job. Y'all have seen this before here. If you have a problem underneath your home and there's a leak, they'll fix it. If you've got a line coming from your home, this is replacing a plumbing line all the way, your sewer line there, from the old pipes, because they do crack, they get rusted, they wear out, they bust. This is where a line was joined. It got busted up. They had to dig it up, fix that. It causes a flow problem, so to speak. This is where they had to replace a whole water line from the house to the street. They'll do that. Now, this is underneath your home, and we'll show you the slab leak here in a minute, to where this is old pipe here that's rusted out. This is what causes this to happen in your home. And they can repair that, reroute your lines, and take care of you. Have it fixed in no time at all. As simple as getting your faucet or your shower replaced. And also, they do this drain thing. If yours is backed up, $125. They'll clean your drains. It's guaranteed for 60 days, and they will not charge you to come to your house. It's a flat $125. A bargain.
Oh, yeah.
Water heater's broke, toilet's messed up, or if you need tile done, they'll do that also for your bathrooms. A gorgeous one laid out there, or a shower. See them. Talk to them today. They're licensed, insured, 36 years of experience. And if it's plumbing, they can fix it, can't they?
That's right. They can.
Talk to Galen. He will help you out.
Richard Schwartz cut through all that red tape, and now I'm approved and getting my benefits.
Call me, Richard Schwartz, and get the answers you need and the compensation you deserve. We know the law, and we know how to help you.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we continue this gorgeous Wednesday morning. Now, again, I want to remind you, there is a chance of showers this afternoon, sometime between 3 and 5, about a 30% chance. And then Friday, we'll get a little bit more. But overall, a pretty good day, but just an afternoon shower there.
It might cool things down. I don't know, though. You know, when those little short showers come, it's kind of like a sauna after that if it's really hot outside. But
we have to say another shout out to our state auditor, Shad White, who's been busy. Another person has been arrested in the state of Mississippi. A lady who was at the town clerk of Roxy. $109,000 was taken, and they have busted the ring there. She's going to be repaying that.
I don't understand people who think they can get away with that. I mean, so many probably are, as we speak, probably getting away with it, they think. But this guy didn't play around. So,
no, I have never seen a state auditor make as many arrests as he has done.
He means business for sure. So if you are embezzling money, you might want to stop.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, I don't know. I've never understood that, though. I didn't even pick up loose change around the house. You know, if it wasn't mine, I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand people who can do that, move on about their business like, you know, nothing's ever happened.
It's a good policy to do. If it ain't yours, leave it alone.
Right.
In other news across the state of Mississippi, a 16-year-old is dead today in Claiborne County. This happened yesterday afternoon, where a 14-year-old stabbed the 16-year-old. She is in custody now. He didn't make it. I don't know the details of what led to this, but Claiborne County, that's just awful.
That is awful.
So that was one of the headlines that happened there. as your teenagers, as we get ready for this weekend, especially Memorial Day weekend, a lot of people hit the water. They do boating and things. We want you to be careful. This happened earlier in the week. This is a 21-year-old. She was at the University of Cincinnati. She drowned in the Ohio Lake. She was swimming, and bless her heart, the beautiful young girl. And this can happen with boating so easy. If you're swimming, make sure somebody knows where you are. Don't do anything. You know the drill of what I'm going there.
She was holding on to like the side of a platform, like a swim platform is what it says, and she just disappeared.
Went under.
You know, I've heard, I don't know, have you heard of stuff like that happen, like people getting electrocuted, like trolling motors being like a current? I know, I guess it was a year or two ago. It was around a pier that some people got electrocuted. They were in the water. I don't know if there was, you know, some people will run lights to the end of a pier.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it could have been, you know, something in the water that had fallen in the water. You just got to be aware of stuff like that. But it's an awful situation when stuff like this happens.
And do not mix alcohol with
definitely
with that.
And I've seen people in boats just act like crazy people. You know, you get to drinking, you know, and people get behind the wheel of a boat and just fly across the water, or just people, you don't even have to have alcohol involved. People just are careless, you know, and just be careful. Watch everybody else. Just like if you're in a car, you got to watch the other people, you know.
Now, you won't catch me on one of these, but there's a lot of folks still using these to hang clothes on. These are a little bit more expensive. Yeah. This is the company that done the recall. They're now going to build a factory in the U.S. Apparently, there's a lot of people that want these, but this is that treadmill, you know, where it's got the screen up there and you're doing it with somebody else that we're turning on, and it killed a child. They're going to be putting in a U.S. factory amongst all of this recall to fix everything that happened. They recalled every treadmill that they had put out. So hopefully they'll be able to make a fix on that.
Weren't they turning on by themselves and stuff like that, just out of the
kids
blue?
Playing it, and it would pull them under. Right. And that's what happened there.
I wonder if it has a sensor, like it just automatically starts if you get on the walk pad of it.
I don't know. You know, I've never touched one quite like that. The hours you have to really push down on the button to make it work.
Like you had said, though, if you have one of those at home and you have small children, just keep it unplugged until you get ready to use it.
Now, this is where I get into world politics, and I don't know everything I should. I know the United States backs Israel. That is our people that we back. But as this comes out, the United States is going to be rebuilding the people that attacked Israel. They say that none of the money is going to go toward missiles or any military thing, but they're going to help rebuild the cities there. I just don't understand how you do that. I know it's a good deed, right? But if they're an enemy, I don't know everything I need to know about politics, I guess
I don't either, about foreign politics and stuff like that. I don't know.
But they're going to help rebuild it there after Israel leveled several of those cities there. That is happening. Casey Anthony's been in another incident. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Her arch eminence poured a drink all over her face, and she had to call the cops. They were called to the scene. So what you think about that?
Seems like she's kind of got a thing for trouble.
Well, we would like to thank y'all so much for joining us this morning. It was very nice of you. We're going to be back tomorrow morning once again. That hour flew by.
Tell your friends about us, and make sure that you go online if you would like to interact with us, because we are fully interactive. I mean, you know, you can comment and we can address your comments.
And we'll post the winners of the Chad Prather concert in just a moment online here, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for watching this morning with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by